But I want to welcome everybody to my channel, The Candy Shop. I am so excited. The Candy Shop. So this is my story time, The Candy Shop. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Candy Shop. I am Candace, and this is Mimosa Monday. I don't have my mimosa today. I'm drinking some water. Been a long day at work, and so I didn't even have time to go get any of my mimosa stuff. But I want to say hey to the chat. Hey, Chi-Town Naja girl, good to see you. She says, welcome everybody to the Candy Shop, where Candy herself is your host. Please hit that like button and subscribe and sit back and enjoy the show while you get a taste of these sweet treats. So thank you, Chi-Town. Yes, drop your candy in the chat. Hey, Shantae, good to see you. Hey, Sharon, good to see you as well. Hannah's not with me today because she's traveling. So we do miss her, but the show must go on. So let's get into this Love and Marriage Huntsville. This episode, it was good in bits and pieces. It wasn't as juicy as I would hope it to be. But let's get into it. So we start off with Maurice, Marceau, and Martel talking in the bar about the apology. Marceau is still being kind of like, I agree with Maurice. His ego is in the way, his pride. He doesn't want to admit that he was being shady and he was wrong by posting that infamous picture of all of them together. Now, this is my issue with Maurice, though. Maurice uh, admitted that he wasn't, well, basically, he kind of lied and said that he wasn't there. And so, in context, he's trying to say he didn't lie. Basically, he, instead of saying, and this is what Marceau said, instead of saying that he was there at the event, he should have said he, even though he was there, he didn't see any interactions between Martel and Coleslaw, Ariane. But the thing is, though, we all know the reason why he didn't say that he didn't see any interactions. It's because of the fact that she was even there. So with her being there, they're all guilty by association. Regardless of whether or not they were interacting a lot or doing whatever, she was still in the same room as they were. And that is why he lied. So I think they're all wrong. I think Marceau was being very messy by posting that picture. He doesn't want to admit it. He needs to. Do I think he owes anybody an apology? No, I don't think he owes anybody an apology, because the truth always comes out. If he wouldn't have put that picture out there, Ariana or somebody else would have put some mess out there. So I don't think he owes any of them an apology. They also talk about how they were bullying or ganging up on Lewis and Tiffany. So I agree with Marceau on this. I would not want, if I've been married 10 years, which me and my husband, it's almost 10 years for us. We've been married 10 years. We know the ups and downs of marriage and all that. I would want some newlywed that has just gotten married, that they recently divorced. Rumor is Tiffany and Lewis were both cheating spouses, but they're recently out of divorces and have married each other and only been married for 11 months. Would I want them speaking on my marriage? Hell no. So I don't think they have any place on anything as it relates to anyone's marriage in this friend group. Now, we know later on in the show they say they've known them or whatever. Just because you know somebody does not mean that you have a right to speak on their situation. So that is my thought on that. Let me get to some of these comments, and I'm gonna be going back and forth between the comments and my commentary as well on the show. I might drop the link to let some people up. It depends on how good I feel, if I want to go the full hour today. Shaitan said exactly, he was being messy. Yes. From what I heard, that it was how it was edited made him look like he was lying, but he did admit that he was there, but he's saying that he didn't know her like that or see anything. Interesting. Yes. Yep. And hey, Cardi B, good to see you. And yes, Shantae. Exactly. He knew him business wise, not personal relationship wise. Exactly. So therefore, Lewis and Tiffany, to me, they couldn't say nothing to me. But we move on to Lewis and Tiffany. They talk about the pajama party, which was dry. That I don't know what that pajama party was for, because the whole time they talked, it seemed like they talked about Tisha's business. Tiffany and uh Kimmy tried to have a little powwow and settle some things, but of course Stormy uh stopped that. She kind of came in the middle of that, and so they talked a little bit about that, and they talked about the reunion and how everybody was coming for them. I was kind of bored at this part. I know Lewis was heated about how everybody was ganging up on them, and he's really heated by Marceau. So I don't know. I like Lewis. I don't like Tiffany. Lewis may feel some type of way, but I think it's a little bit much. Let me see what you're saying, Cotty. I don't want anyone to apologize unless they are actually sorry. Pressuring an apology on someone is coercion. Not interested in fake apologies, right? I don't feel like anybody needs to apologize. I don't know what we're apologizing for. So I agree with that. And yes, that pajama party was whack. Um, then we get to moving on from that, and I know I'm moving pretty fast, but it wasn't a lot necessarily to discuss in the show. But we get to Melody and the kids, and they are and her daughter Mariah. I think that's the name of her oldest daughter. They're running lines and rehearsing lines. I thought that was cute. They were showing how she was a mom. Blah blah blah. That part was a little boring. Then we go to Martell and his mom with the wine. And I find it very interesting. He's trying to be innovative. One, he has a wine just like Tisha and Marceau. Two, he's trying to start a business like Melody. And so I guess the wine is going to be good. This is the infamous wine that Ariane was drinking in her live that she dropped when I guess Marcel almost rear-ended somebody in that live. Everybody keeps talking about how good this damn wine is. Her and his mom. The only thing I liked about that part was his mom and how proud she was of him. And she was right. People are human, and you basically you wake up to live another day or whatever. And so I think I'm happy for Martell moving on, but it does seem like he still has, to me, it seems like he still has some feelings for Melody. The whole idea behind the wine is based off of a wine that him and Melody used to drink. So I thought that was interesting. Sharon said Melody was being messy about having the pajama party. She definitely was being messy. She I don't know what it was for. It was boring. The only thing I probably would have liked was the food. So it was definitely boring. Martell got to do something to try to rebuild his life with Mel or without Mel. That was a Freudian slip. But yeah, rebuild his life without Mel. Love Mel's decoration on the party, but the party itself, right. Neither him nor Ariane are creative, and it shows that they are watching Mel. Yeah, to me, it always seems like they're trying to one up Mel with everything that they do, including this weekend. I'll be giving my thoughts on that tomorrow. This past weekend, when Ariane went live, they went to this concert or whatever. They did all that after Melanie had posted her picture of herself in Jamaica, or her video in Jamaica. So it seems like they were trying to one up her. Melody also had her skincare line that was introduced, I think, this week. And so it was funny to me that Ariane was sipping the wine over the weekend. And hey, Nihar, good to see you. Make sure you all hit that like button and drop the candies in the chat. And yes, tomorrow we're going to get behind the scenes and talk about some of the goings ons with the show behind the scenes, because it seems like it's a whole show after the show. So I want to get into that. I'm going to post some screenshots that I've taken from IG, the Shade Room, everything. I will be talking about it and giving my opinion on the afterthoughts of Love and Marriage Huntsville. So Shante said Melody turned me off. Tisha. That's all they talked about. Now, why do y'all think she talks about Tisha so much? Did she genuinely have a true friendship with her where she's hurt that they don't have one anymore? Or what is it? Because people are going to talk about you forever. So I'm not to me, Tisha didn't do anything that bad to Melody for Melody to be so focused on talking about her. That's what's kind of pissing me off about Melody. I was team Melody, but I'm getting tired of her talking about Tisha and what's been done to her. I cannot stand a person that harps on everything what's been done to them, but they never talk about their part. They're never accountable for what they do. And that's where I cannot stand Melody. She does not hold her own self accountable. Now, I like Melody. Melody is one of my favorite people on the show, but I can still call her out. Melody does some dirt as well because nobody's perfect. We all do dirt. But the thing is, though, she don't stand in it. And then instead of standing in it, she just deflects and places the blame on other people and acts like the queen of Sheba or someone that you got to bow down to her. One, we're too grown to be bound down to anybody for their friendship. If you don't fuck with me, you don't fuck with me, and that it's that simple. I can move on from that. And so I wouldn't be sitting up here begging Melody for her friendship. And that straight like that. That's how I feel about that. Yes, hit that like button. Yes, that's how I'm feeling. Like it's just ridiculous. And that's the part that pisses me off about Melody. And since the first season, those were the issues I had with her because in that first season, to be completely honest, Melody was not my favorite. I didn't start liking her until like the second season. The first season, I couldn't stand her because I felt like she thought her and Martell thought they were this power couple and they thought everybody had to bow down to them, and how the tables turned. Yes. Cardi B said, at this point, combos between the women are heavily focused on Tisha. I don't talk about people I don't care. Right. I'm laughing at your comment, Nihar. I'm about to get to it. Yes, Melody don't own up to her shit. She don't. Sharon, she may be mad because Letitia isn't believing what she told her about Marcel. And that's the thing. Why would okay. So my thing is, does she only want to be friends with Tisha because Tisha she wants to have a trauma bond with Tisha and be like, see, I'm not the only one that has a cheat man. Your man cheat too. Like I've never been a friend like that has wanted my friend to go through bad things like me. It's like she wants to, she she does not like anybody's situation that may be appear to be better than hers. Chi-Town, Tisha and Mel have some part in the demise of that relationship. Yeah. Yes, people act like because Martell cheated Melody now fart unicorn. Well, Martell, I'll say this: the way Martell handled the cheating on the show is what kind of pissed a lot of people off because he kind of they did this whole breakup to make up thing. He acted like it was over. He called Ariane a peasant. Like when he called Ariane that kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. You call this woman a peasant and you act like she's beneath your wife, but yet during the pandemic, she's pregnant by your wife. I mean by you while your wife is pregnant or right after your wife. So it was a mess. Nihar said Candy got me clutching my pearl. Yes. Shantae said, I believe Melody wanted Tisha to be pulled in with her together, and they both were supposed to be going through a divorce, but Tisha played dumb on the accusations and kept her marriage. Yes. Yep, a little envy on Melody's part. Yes, I do believe Melody was envious. Instead of just standing in her shit, realizing that, hey, your husband's been cheating for some time now. It's time to move around and start over. Instead of doing that, which she did to some extent, there were casualties in her moving on. Like Tisha was a casualty of the situation that happened between her and Martell. And yes, Mel got the Milwaukee coming out of me, the Milwaukee, Wisconsin coming out of me right now. Sharon said, I wish they would really get back to the businesses of the couples, like the Comeback Group. Right. Originally, that's what I thought the show was supposed to be about. Their real estate, this Comeback Group, powerful Black couples coming together to do business and be married, create generational wealth, all of that. And we didn't see that. All we saw was a messy divorce. We got introduced to somebody named Ariane, aka Coleslaw, and it just became a whole shit show. And then you have now the women turning against each other because of what Mel and Martell went through. And then Martell is dragging the men into it because the men were there as he was entertaining this other woman. And then we all know, for those that are true fans of the show and follow it, outside of the show, we know that it's speculated that the men also had their women as well. And the woman that Marceau allegedly has a child by and allegedly cheated with or whatever was Mel's cousin and also Ariane's friend. So Huntsville is so small that it's just people know each other, and it's a whole mess. I'll just say that. Chateau said Mel knows the truth about Marceau and all the accusations, and she's upset that it did not come out and that Tisha's playing dumb. I don't to me, I don't think Tisha's playing dumb. She may be doing it for the cameras, but she has to know her husband has something going on. Where there's smoke, there's fire, which is why she keeps questioning him. I feel like every 5 minutes. She keep asking Marceau about the apartment that he allegedly had with Martell. She keeps asking him about the baby, the Africa trip. So she knows something is going on, but instead of really picking herself up and moving on, she wants to stay in the relationship. She chooses to be blind, but I don't think she's I don't think she's acting. I don't think she's. I just say this. I know she knows what's going on. And hey, Red Label Confessions and Reactions. Good to see you. Just like Kenny. Yes, the comeback group was an attractive storyline, right? If only the comeback group would have worked. Exactly, and different. But Chi-Town said, Candy, you saw her face when they were sitting in those chairs speaking about the apartment. Tisha knows damn well what's going on. Exactly. Think about when the men were supposed to be going camping and Marceau got into that car accident in his sports car. Like, where are you coming from in your sports car to go camping? So yeah, it was a lot. No questions. Letitia, not strong enough yet to leave the marriage. I totally agree, Sharon. She is not strong enough. We were introduced to her in the beginning after she had been a housewife for many years and she was just getting her business. And that's when she was Mel's little protege with getting into the society, getting into the network marketing and or multi-level marketing, whatever they call themselves doing. But Mel was supposed to be training her on how to do speaking engagements, how to have your own business as a Black woman, all of that. And it fell apart. But going to Marceau and Tisha, I guess they're supposed to be taking their kids to Africa or something like that. It would have been very nice if Martell would have took the kids originally. And I'll be talking about Miss what is it? Melody from not Melody. What's the name from Love and Marriage? Not Love and Marriage. I'm getting my shows. Housewives of Potomac. Monique. Miss Monique took a dig at Marceau in the Africa trip. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow. Cardi B said, yeah, what same person takes a sports car camping? Exactly. Tisha also trying to save face because she needs that money for her mother's food truck. Oh my goodness. The food truck. Hey, Sip with D, good to see you. I agree Tisha turns a blind eye. Right. Right. And yes, Monique. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow on the Afterthought show. Moving on to Kimmy and Maurice. I guess they're finally taking a vacation or the honeymoon that they never got or something like that. But they're talking about the dry ass pajama party again. They talk about Kiki being there, Tisha's cousin, which I cannot wait to see that Tisha confront her cousin next week because the cousin was all the way wrong for even going to Melody's party. And last week I said if I was the cousin, I would not have gone. Now you can't tell people who they can hang with, but if you're gonna hang with somebody that I don't deal with anymore, don't talk about me. Or if they're gonna talk about me, defend me, especially when it's gonna be on camera. Like I don't know what was going on there. Maybe she was trying to get her a spot on the show. I don't know. Sip with D said, I just can't take Mel wanting everyone to be miserable with her. Right. She wants everybody to be miserable with her. She wants people to beg her for friendships. And that part of Mel, I just don't like at all. But Kimmy and Maurice talk about Tiffany and Stormy. And the guys going back to when they were at the bar, they did tell Marceau that he does need to have a talk with Lewis. I like Lewis. I don't know. I just like him. I don't like Tiffany, but I like Lewis. But they all need to have a talk about boundaries. And Cardi B said, thirsty for airtime. Yes, Stormy was thirsty for airtime. So last but not least, we're going to talk about the book signing, Martell's book signing, and then Melody taking the kids to a funeral. So I did not like these parts. I don't want to be judgmental with this in regards to the children and how people should have handled it, because I don't know what ins and outs of their custody agreement, where they're at in their whole divorce process, all that. I know they're officially divorced, but all of it is still fresh. And before I give my opinions, I'm a I'm gonna read the comments. Yeah, the cousin is foul, right? Not Stormy. Oh, Kiki was messy, yes. And Shaitan said Tiffany and Lewis don't look like a match. They don't. I think she's with Lewis for his money. Sip with D says she should have canned Tisha and be like, "Hey, girl," or call Tisha and be like, "Hey, girl, you going to the sleepover?" Right? If she was a true cousin. But going to Martell and the book signing and Melody and the kids. So I felt extremely bad for Martell at this book signing. I can see both sides. I feel like there wasn't a lot of communication. We don't know though. Mel is saying that she got an email at the last minute telling her about it on the week that she was supposed to have the kids. And so I'll say this, sometimes for me, if you want to co-parent and you want it to be amicable, you have to do things and move accordingly based off of the terms of what you agreed upon. So they agreed upon that they had weeks. And so Melody, that was Melody's week. Now had it have been me, of course I would have brought the kids there or dropped the kids off to him and he could have had them. I just would have got them an extra week. Melody saw it a different way. So I felt bad for him. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, hit that like button. Shutdown said I would have told my cousin exactly where we were and be like, "Come on, we're all up. I'll meet you outside." Right. Sharon said I felt bad for Martell at first, but then he could have scheduled it on his weekend. Maybe he was trying to make Mel look bad. That I kind of thought about that too, because Melody looks at him as kind of a manipulator and he likes to control things. And we all know from some of the stuff that we saw before, Martell is kind of likes to be in control. And it just reminds me, I'll say this, it does remind me of some men that like to manipulate the situation and they want to come off as a victim. So they'll pull things like that in order to make the other parent look bad, especially to the kids and to everyone watching. So that's why I'm like, I feel bad for both. I wish he wouldn't have set his own self up like that, because if he knew that he didn't have the kids that weekend, why didn't he book it for another weekend? Like, what other engagements did he have where he couldn't have booked it for a weekend where he had the kids? I don't get that. That part doesn't make any sense to me. Shando said, I don't like the fact that Mel didn't respond to him. At least let him know that the kids won't be there and why. I 100% agree. She definitely should have. Hey, Nick Q. Good to see you. Neek Q. I called you Nick. Neek Q. Good to see you. Shaitan said they could have even stopped by on their way. Right. I think Melody owed him the explanation of why the kids could not be there. She should have done that instead of ignoring his calls. And that way, maybe had she communicated that, he would have rescheduled it for another time. So I agree. Martell did seem genuinely hurt, but I do believe that they both are lying about this situation. Yeah, we'll never know what happened. And like Tiffany says, that's the one thing I'm going to agree with her on. On next week's episode, she said there's your side, his side, and then there's the truth. So we all know that it's somewhere they got their wires crossed wrong. And yeah, it just was, it didn't look good. And Martell, this was a big moment for Martell to get a lot of sympathy. So even though I felt bad for him, I'm still giving him the side eye somewhat, because to me, he kind of knows what he's doing. He's a manipulator like that. Chi-Town said, I didn't feel bad for Martell because he made the bed for him to be disconnected from his family like that. So unfortunately, when you are divorced on these kind of situations, things like that happen. Niku said, Tiffany and Lewis do look awkward. I think Melody is tired of him showing up when he wants to. Right. That's what I agree with. Shaitan said, right, book it on your weekend, not mine. Yes. for a public event to make himself look good. Exactly. He did want to make himself look good. Like, I do all this for my kids, and they wrote this book and I just wanted them to read it. Like, he was being so dramatic. So dramatic. Sip with D said, I think he was doing some type of group event. That's why the scheduling was off. It looked like other book signings was happening too. Okay. I can see that. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, I think for one, he should have brought that event to her earlier than, because she's saying 2 days. Really, I think there should have been more communication on both sides about how important it was, and then also about it being her week, all of that. And I think Mel said something like that if he would have asked her or something. But basically he said, are you getting the kids done, or do you want me to get their hair done? They're getting the kids' hair done. Oh, so I'm going to go ahead and drop this link. I've been on for about 30 minutes, running my mouth. Anybody that wants to come up and give their opinion real quick on the show, you are welcome to do so. But yeah, that was Love and Marriage Huntsville episode 3, I believe this is. It was kind of dry. I can't wait to see some more drama happen. Sip with D said, I agree. Martell causes this with his actions, but still felt bad, a little bad. Yeah, I felt bad too, because I don't think he realized how bad he would feel with them not being there. I think it was like he was playing poker or something. He wanted to call her bluff, and she did not show up with them kids. And so I guess he realizes now Mel doesn't move when he says move. So it is what it is. But anybody want to join me in these last few minutes? I think I'm going to do this for about 30 minutes. I know Red Label Confessions and Reactions. He goes live at 10:30, so be sure to check him out on his channel. Tomorrow I will be back at 8:15 Eastern talking about the behind the scenes, Ariane, the mess with Monique and Marceau, all of the drama. And then at 9 p.m. on Lamb Levity, we will be live with He Say, She Say, Me, Popcorn, Red Label, and Lamb Levity. Wednesday, I have Champagne and Things. Plus, I think I'm doing a little show on Wednesday as well. Or no, I'm not doing a little show. Champagne and Things will be on my channel on Wednesday. So it'll just be that show. Thursday, I go live with Cardi B on her channel talking about young, famous, and African. And I'll also be doing a segment prior to that called Triggered Thursdays, where I guess I don't know if I haven't decided what exactly I'm going to talk about with it being triggered. It could be things that trigger me, or it could be trigger happy about something. So I don't know. We'll see. But since nobody is coming up, yes, I'm going to be in these streets tomorrow running, right? Since nobody is coming up, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. That was the review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 4, episode 3. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that like button and the notification bell to get the notifications when I go live. Thank you to all my new sugar babies for joining the channel. This was fun. Bye, everybody. But I want to welcome everybody to my channel, The Candy